For more than 40 years, HIV and AIDS have shaped families, nations, and generations. But how did it all begin? Where did this deadly virus come from? And how did it travel from the heart of Central Africa to the entire world? Today, we go back more than a century to discover the true story of how HIV and AIDS started. Our journey begins deep in the tropical forest of southeast Cameroon, in the early 1900s. Long before cities, highways, or modern borders, here lived a group of chimpanzees carrying a virus known as HIV, the simian immunodeficiency virus. SIV had lived in these animals for thousands of years, causing them no harm. But one day, the virus made the jump from chimpanzees to humans. Scientists call this a spillover event, when a virus crosses from animals to humans. How did this happen? Most likely during hunting or butchering. A hunter kills a chimpanzee, cuts his hand, and the chimpanzee's blood mixes with his. Inside that moment, a virus begins adapting to a new host. That virus would later evolve into HIV-1, the most widespread type of HIV in the world. At first, the virus didn't cause a global outbreak. There were no airplanes, no mass migration, no bust cities. The virus spread slowly, unnoticed from person to person. Then, history changed everything. Around 1908 to the 1920s, colonial rule brought new forms of transport, railways and medical campaigns. People moved more, needless were reused, and HIV began to spread quietly through Central Africa. No one knew this virus existed. No one could imagine what it would become. By the 1920s, the virus reached a growing, bustling city, Kinshasa, in today's Democratic Republic of Congo. Kinshasa was a transport hub, full of railways, river boats, migrant workers, rapid urbanization. These conditions allowed the virus to spread faster. Commercial sex work increased, medical injection became common, often with unsterilized needles, and people traveled in and out of the city every day. The stage was set for a hidden epidemic. By the 1950s, HIV was no longer a local virus. It had already begun its global journey. In the 1960s, thousands of Haitian professionals were working in the Congo. When many returned home to Haiti, HIV traveled with them unknowingly. From Haiti, the virus soon crossed into the United States, likely through traceal, blood products, and global movement. By the late 1970s, HIV had already spread to parts of Europe, the Caribbean, Latin America, and still widely in Africa, quietly, silently, without a name. Humanity had no idea what was coming. It was until 1981, nearly 70 years after the virus entered humans, that the first AIDS cases were officially reported in the United States. Doctors saw something strange: rare infections, lung diseases, cancers in young men. They had no idea what was causing it. In 1983, scientists finally identified the virus, the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. But by then, it had already spread worldwide. With fear came rumors. Some said HIV was created in a laboratory. Others said it was a punishment. Others blamed countries or governments. But science tells a clear story. HIV was not created by humans. It did not come from witchcraft. It did not come from vaccines. It was a natural virus that crossed from chimpanzees to humans. Just like Ebola, COVID, and other zoonotic diseases. The real origin is nature, not conspiracy. By the late 1980s and 1990s, HIV was spreading fastest in southern Africa. Why? Because of migrant labor systems, apartheid-era restrictions on African families, poverty and limitations healthcare, cultural silence around sexual health, Lack of early access to antiretroviral treatment. These factors created the perfect environment for rapid spreading. But with awareness, activism, and treatment, African communities began fighting back. Today, HIV is no longer the death sentence it once was. Because of modern treatment, people with HIV can live long, healthy lives. A person with undetectable viral cannot transmit the virus. Mother-to-child transmission can be prevented. The world is getting closer to an HIV-free generation. But understanding how it all began helps us prevent future epidemics. This is the story of how HIV and AIDS started. A story that began in a forest over a century ago, traveled through cities and continents, and changed the world forever.